Motivation's gone. The high you felt last week? Gone. Buried under distractions, doubt, and that tiny voice whispering, why even bother? This is the part no one talks about. The crash after the spark, the dip after the hype. Where YouTube inspiration fades and reality kicks you in the teeth. But this moment, right now, is where everything gets decided. Because the people who win, they're not riding on motivation. They're building systems for when motivation dies. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on building unstoppable momentum. If part 1 was about finding rhythm, this one is about surviving the drop. The moment when motivation vanishes and the work still needs to get done. If you lost the spark, you're not broken. You're just human. Motivation always fades. Even the greats. They start strong, then crash just like you, but they don't quit. They reset. The Slight Edge calls this the day you separate from the crowd. When others give up, you go again. That's how results are built. Not by staying hyped, but by returning to the path, again and again. You thought the magic was in the first step, but it's actually in the comeback. And you're here now. So, let's restart. Step 3. Track like a machine, open a page, draw a box. Mark it every day you show up. No fancy apps, no dopamine traps, just marks on paper. That's your trail, your evidence. Proof that, even on bad days, you didn't quit. Step 4. Let it be ugly. Some days will suck. Good. Keep going. You don't need perfect output. You need consistency. Ugly progress beats no progress. Always. Let's talk about identity. Because when motivation fades, your why has to step up. You're not doing this just to finish a checklist. You're doing it because you're becoming the kind of person who shows up, even on the dark days. Not a quitter, not a dreamer, a builder. Let's stop pretending that your energy levels decide your destiny. You don't fail because you're lazy. You fail because your system breaks the moment your feelings change. One bad night, one bad mood, and your whole routine falls apart. That's the real enemy. Fragile structures. Charles Duhigg said in The Power of Habit, change might not be fast, and it isn't always easy. But with time and effort, almost any habit can be reshaped. The winners? They design their defaults. They don't wake up and ask, what do I feel like doing? They pre-decide their actions, like a script they follow no matter what. Their environment works for them, not against them. Their phone isn't a trap, it's a tool. Their desk doesn't distract, it directs. You want freedom? Build better constraints. Want momentum? Stop trusting your mood, because your feelings will lie. But a strong system that's honest, it keeps showing up, with or without your permission. Forget passion. Build pathways. Let your boring rituals do the heavy lifting. And let those tiny daily wins, stacked over time, carry you where motivation never could. You messed up. You missed a day. You broke the streak. Good. Now what? This is where most people fold. Not because they're weak, but because they think the detour is the end. But here's the truth. You don't need a new plan. You need a reset button. Not tomorrow, not next Monday. Now. Stephen Pressfield said, resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work. It will perjure, fabricate, it will seduce you. Resistance is always lying and always full of shit. That voice telling you to quit, it's not you. It's fear, dressed up as logic. So take a breath. Reopen the notebook. Lay out your shoes. Open the laptop. Sit down in front of the blank screen. Do the reps, not for dopamine, not for perfection, but for your future self. Cal Newport calls it deep work. Showing up with focus, even when the world and your brain beg for escape. You don't rise by staying perfect. You rise by refusing to stop. Reset, restart, recommit. again and again and again. So when you feel stuck, don't wait for motivation. Move anyway, small, quiet, ugly. Just move. Because every time you do, you're rewriting the story. Not the story of someone who got hyped and quit, but the story of someone who showed up, even when it got hard. If this landed for you, stick around for part 3, where we break down how to stay consistent and keep momentum alive, no matter what. And if you think someone else might need this, you know what to do.